I'm the Chief Happiness Officer. In today's video, we'll show you how to physically lower the stress hormones in your body using the relaxation response technique and practiced by the Navy SEALs. Why this is important is because when you practice it enough, this is how you can turn bad stress to good stress practically and consistently to achieve a heightened state of productivity instead of burnout. And it's going to allow you to stop stress from spiraling into a highly negative emotion. First, we'll get into some background. If you look at high-stress professions, like the Navy SEALs, you see how these professionals require stress hormones to do their job because they rely on the surge of energy and heightened state of alertness. The difference between the Navy SEALs managing stress and the rest of the world managing stress is simply how they're trained to react to the automatic surge of stress hormones. In fact, if everyone knew how to manage stress like a Navy SEAL, we would all be better off because many people experience high stress days simply because of this clash between our hypersensitive ancient stress instincts with the pampered modern world. For example, many of the activities that people do for fun, like use social media, watch news, eat sugar, surprisingly all contribute to repeated surges of stress hormones throughout the day, very much unknowingly. In the video linked below, we go over these 5 Ds that are the universal triggers for the stress response in the body. These are very sneaky, and it's important to watch that to get a solid understanding of what stresses the body out so we can actually realize what we're stressed out about and why. Today, we're going to learn the 6th D, and this D is going to turn everything around, and it's going to determine whether that stress spirals out of control or you can be focused and operate like a Navy SEAL. That 6th D is decision. So, in the moment you feel any negative emotion, which is how your body alerts you that you have stress hormones surging in your body, anger, irritation, frustration, sadness, any of that, you have a decision. Number 1, option 1, you can dwell on that negative emotion and negative situation, or option 2, you can distance yourself from it by changing how you move or changing how you think. We are wired to crave intensely the option to dwell on the negative situation because the survival brain considers it to be a fight for survival. But guaranteed, you have a matter of minutes to make that decision before your stress hormones flood your body and essentially turn off the logical thinking brain, which was only a really helpful response in ancient times to have that logical brain turn off momentarily so you could react first and think later. That instinct is not so helpful in the modern world. What the Navy SEALs do is honor that surge of stress, and then number 2, they take that option to distance themselves from it. Generally, you can change the way you move or change the way you think. And what a Navy SEAL is taught is in the moment they feel stress during an operation, that they should immediately focus on their breath. So when you feel any of these negative emotions, start to slow your breath down. Try breathing in through your nose for 5 seconds and out through your mouth for 5 seconds. As you do this, you are physically activating the rest and digest mechanism in your body and deactivating the fight or flight response. Now, you're going to have a bit of a battle with your survival brain because the 5 Ds catch you off guard, and you're going to want to go to this immediate reaction and engage in this stressful situation. For example, let's say you've had a stressful day full of the 5 Ds and your partner says something small that upsets you, which is yet another 5D. But because your body has been primed with stress hormones all day, you have a higher likelihood that your emotional response will be highly negative and highly disproportionate to the situation. Instead of responding immediately, start to focus on your breath. Slow it down. Because likely your partner is overreacting to their own experience of the 5Ds, they've had a stressful day. This is probably why the comment came out the way that it did. This will buy precious time. Now, think about something you're grateful for next. And with every breath, think about one thing, and this will activate a special part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, which helps you to process stress, emotions, and be logical about the situation. If you want bonus points, politely offer to have a conversation later and get even more distance by physically leaving the room if possible. This is a powerful technique in high-stakes negotiations, for example. As you do this, you aren't just mentally changing your emotions. You are physically starting to rebalance the chemistry in your body because you're using the physical systems to create a rest and digest effect. Now, believe you me, this takes quite a bit of practice to overcome the instinctive desire to dwell in the negative emotion or stress. However, this process is essential because over time that stress accumulates, and this is the difference between momentary sadness or spiraling into depression. This is the difference between simply being irritated or spiraling into unleashed, relentless anger. Over time, this is how you retrain your brain to process stress, and it will help you to address stressful situations more efficiently, more quickly, and with a more clear mind. And depending on how much time you have, you may have to use these techniques in a very short amount of time and simply focus on your breath. Or if this is a situation that you can come back to and that doesn't need to be immediately addressed, this will buy you precious time, allow you to calm your system down so that when you come back to it, you're much more clear-minded. Now, we're going to be able to amp up this technique in the next video by learning about how to further activate that special part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is awesome at processing emotions and managing stress. And over time, you're actually going to build these happiness muscles that are going to really make you a true master of dealing with stress. So stay tuned for that, and all the best until next time.